Hey there friends, how's it going? I'm Ben Snow, and today I'm gonna answer 30 fan questions about Hogwarts Legacy. In the previous FAQ speedrun video, I asked you to submit your specific question about Hogwarts Legacy. And guys, I had no choice but to split this video into two parts because you've outdone yourself by submitting 60 different questions. These questions range from the gameplay, the character questions, story, lore. There's all types of questions in here, and I'm so excited to answer all of them. This is Hogwarts Legacy Fans Ask, Part 1. Beforehand, I want to just say this. Sorry if I am butchering your name. Adlin Martinez is asking, do you think we can ride a unicorn? I see why not. Unicorns were not shown in the reveal trailer, but they inhabit the Forbidden Forest. So I think, yeah, it's probably not going to be the easiest task. Next, Yahia Tarek is asking, will be a morality system in the game? Okay, well, I believe yes. The morality systems are usually based on the choices the player makes, and both trailers made it very clear that we're going to be making crucial choices all the time, which will be building our path. Next, Blocks Fruit Master is asking, will there be any animagus in Hogwarts Legacy? In general, I'm pretty sure yes, because that's a big part of the wizarding world. But whether or not we're going to be an animagus, that's a different question, and I kind of doubt that that's going to be a thing. Next, CodeMike03 is asking, will there be the Triwizard Tournament? The Triwizard Tournament was discontinued in 1792 because of the high death toll, and was only revived once in 1994 when Harry Potter took part in it, and then it got cancelled permanently. But in Hogwarts Mystery, the developers came up with a perfect solution for this, and they brought in an all-wizard tournament, which is essentially the same thing, it's only the Hogwarts students who take part in it. So maybe Hogwarts Legacy is gonna bring something like that? Well, there's a possibility. Next, Roro is asking, what platform or platforms are you going to play the game on? So my first choice is PlayStation 5, though due to the nature of covering games on YouTube, I will have to play all the versions. Next, Shlongdong300 is asking, can we use Expecto Patronum or Crucio? I am 99.9% sure both of those spells are in the game. Next, this question is by Boss. How do you think the quest system will work? Well, I think the quests will emerge from our interactions with different students, professors, vendors, creatures throughout the world. Some will involve the main story quests, but most will be different side missions, minigames, and puzzles. Next, this one was submitted by Sebitor. Will we be able to swim in Hogwarts Legacy and maybe also explore the Black Lake? Oh boy, I really hope we're going to be able to explore the Black Lake. I mean, in nowadays open world games, it is very common to have at least some water mechanics or underwater mechanics. So I think, yes, we're going to have at least something. Plus, I'm like certain that this dungeon is underneath the Black Lake, and we might have to go for a swim in order to enter it. Also, just like on the surface, we can use the broom to fast travel, or a hippogriff. Maybe we can use gillyweed to fast travel underneath the water. Next up is by Red Rocker. What are the spells that we can use in the game? Okay, here are all the official spells that have been confirmed. Accio, Avada Kedavra, Bombarda, Confringo, Depulso, Descendo, Defendo, Disillusionment Charm, Expelliarmus, Glacius, Incendio, Levioso, Locomotor, Lumus, Apugno, Petrificus Totalis, Protego, Reducto, Reparo, Stupefy, an unknown ancient magic spell, and Transfiguration Charm. Could be Ferraverto, or yeah, a Transfiguration Charm. Though there are about 40 new spells written on the walls of the Charms class, they are in pretty good detail there, so I feel like they are actually the spells that we can learn in the game. Here they are on the screen, so you can pause it to check them all out. Next, Frank01001 is asking, do you think they will include small readable books in Hogwarts Legacy, similar to what Skyrim does? I would absolutely love if they do that. I mean, there is the library, and most spells are written in the books, so I feel like Yeah, there's a chance. Maybe not all of them, but there's going to be some. Yep. Next. Boss again. How do you think the start of the game will affect the rest of the experience in Hogwarts Legacy? Well, for starters, our choice of our house will bond us to one common room for the rest of the game. It is possible that during the first hours we will have to choose who we want to be friends with, which will eventually lead us to having certain friendships and frenemyships. I don't know if that's the word. Our choices will be building our legacy from the very beginning. At least that's what I'm getting from all the info about the game. Next. It got too far. James R's. Who will be the Ravenclaw companion in Hogwarts Legacy? A full credit for this I have to give to one Reddit user who made a list of all potential companions from every house. It looks like this guy with the glasses will be one of the befriendable characters from Ravenclaw. This Reddit user based their assumptions on the fact that these characters have the most significant, the most detailed features from the rest NPCs, but I'll put the link in the description so you can check out the post yourself. Next. Lady Dino Crisis is asking, is it possible that the player was being homeschooled by their parents to become a witch or wizard due to the fact that we are able to use ancient magic? I'm 99% sure that our character is an orphan and is actually living in an orphanage. Because almost in every single hero story, they don't have parents or they lose them somehow in their storyline. And the second part of your question, I feel like our magic simply didn't surface until now, and that's why he's been enrolled in school as a 5th year. Next. A third question from Boss. How evil or good do you think the character development could end up? Well, at least we know that we can go as far as killing goblins and wizards. I don't know if we're going to be able to go berserk and start killing literally everyone, just like in GTA. So I'm not sure. By the way, if the developers are watching right now, hi. We're really curious to know how evil can we become, how we can express, and how far can we go to the darker side in Hogwarts Legacy. Would love something. Next up is Chris JW. I think I'm ill. Sit in 15 hours of the day on Google or YouTube search bar and refreshing Hogwarts Legacy news and hope to see new stuff. Not a question, but I totally hear ya. Been there. I've been there. Next. Before I move on to the next question, just wanted to quickly let you know that I'm going to be turning this into a series of Hogwarts Legacy fans ask videos by letting you submit more specific questions about the game, but with a little twist. Each time I'm going to be giving you a category or a theme for your questions. Here's how you can participate. After finishing watching the rest of the video, go to the comment section where at the very top you will see a pinned comment created by me. In reply to that comment, you will put your question. It can literally be anything you want, but it has to be related to Hogwarts Legacy. But no repetitions. If you see the question that you wanted to ask already in the list, come up with a different question or simply like that question. Just make sure you put your question in that list if you want to participate, because if you put it outside of it, I will assume you don't want to and you're just simply having a conversation there. And this time, the category is Hogwarts Castle. So I'm looking for anything Hogwarts grounds related. It could be dormitories, it could be, I don't know, portraits. Is there a Chamber of Secrets in the game? Where is Ravenclaw Tower? These are some prompts, you can use them. Yeah, anything Hogwarts related. Owen Akate. Will Hogwarts Legacy support voice commands? If available, I would imagine this only be with like any accessibility features, but I don't think yelling stupefy into your controller will do anything, though I encourage it. Next. Both Nicholas Prestos and RM Madness channel ask the same question. Will we be able to find and use the Elder Wand in this game? I'm not quite sure if we are going to be able to find it, Though there is a little gap in this specific time frame, the 1800s, about the whereabouts of the Elder Wand and its owner. The only thing we do know that it was owned by either Arcus or Livius in mid-18th to early 19th century. And then the only thing we know that Grigorovich got it in the early 20th century. What happened to it in the 1800s? We have no idea. We don't know how Grigorovich even got the wand in the first place. Did he kill the other person? Did he find it? We don't know that, so it would be cool if developers decide to fill in this gap. Next question was submitted by Huvian Roxas. Do you believe the game will still look and play great on the previous gen consoles? I know we'll be missing out on some of the cleaner visuals and controller mechanics with the current gen, but I just hope that those of us still on the previous consoles will be able to have a satisfying experience with Hogwarts Legacy. I don't want a Hogwarts 2077 situation. Well, that sign, I read it like because like in Ukrainian, the X reads like so I always like you won't be missing out too much. Like I had my experience with, I just got Series X, for example, and I started replaying some of the games with improved visuals for Xbox Series X, and the difference is not that big. So you're still gonna enjoy Hogwarts Legacy on your Xbox One. That's what I had before. So yeah, you're gonna be just fine. Next, Schlongdon 300 is asking again, do you think Hogwarts Legacy could be the game of the year? Well, based on everything we've seen so far, I think Hogwarts Legacy will be competing alongside Elden Ring and God of War and will be a strong competitor. Plus, there's so many categories in the Game Awards, so I feel like there is a very good chance Hogwarts Legacy will get the Game of the Year, at least in some category. Next, Book Sloth is asking, how will the player be able to exit Hogwarts to explore? I know the game is open world and living the Hogwarts grounds is part of the game, but in the lore of the series, that's almost never allowed until summer. I mean, the Forbidden Forest was always off limits at all times, yet it was a very common hangout place for our trio. I hope that answers your question. Next, Game Boy is asking, do you also think or hope that every single nook and cranny of Hogwarts Legacy will be explorable? Yes. This is an open world. If there is a door, it better open and be available for exploration. That's it for my hopes. Next, Luddy Fish will going down certain routes restrict you from going down certain paths? Huh? Like say if you were to be a goody two shoes, would that make it so you can't go into an area where you have to have cast the 3 unforgivable curses multiple? What? I'm sorry, I was so confused with this question, so I had to reach out and double check with the I understand that not everyone has English their first language, it's not mine, and sometimes we can make questions that like, huh? What do you mean? This was my situation here. All right, but we have the elaboration. The best example I can think of that relates to my question is FE3H. I don't know what that is. Basically, if you recruit certain characters, you get to do another activity that gives you a special reward. Sometimes as well, they have character interactions that are only available up until a certain chapter. After the chapter, you can't interact with them anymore, which prevents you from doing stuff such as marrying them. Okay, so I think I know what you're talking about. I think once you selected a certain path, you can't unchoose it. Like once you're gone dark, you can't go back. So that raises the stakes for your choices and adds replayability to the game. Next, Joanne97 is curious about our character's name. Will it be completely customizable? Is it possible to really create your own name? Because I've been thinking, if yes, how will it register to the other NPCs in the game that will certainly call your character's name? Or will there be specific names already and you're just gonna choose instead? I have two options for this. So number one, we will name our character however we want, but the game will avoid calling our name out loud because people will call it their characters with all kinds of names. Someone will call it Buttcheek69 and you're not gonna expect a professor to say that out loud. It would be hilarious, But no, it's not gonna happen. Like, you have to have a built-in Siri or something that reads your name.
Good morning, Mr. Buttcheek69.
Or the second option is that we're gonna have a universal name. Kind of like in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, like Eivor. It works in many different ways. Or we are gonna choose only the first name, and the last name will be preset. So then when the professor calls us, it's gonna be like, Mr. Potter, or Mr. whatever, Mr. Snow. That's what I'm gonna call my character. I'm not gonna call it Buttcheek69. I will not. No. Next question is by Ben Snow, me. And the question is to you. Have you subscribed to my channel and liked the video? I'm like really curious about that. Foxy Goat is asking, what customization can we do to our wands? Well, I believe one customization will be limited to the wand, the wood for the wand, and the core. That's it. That's how it is in the lore. Maybe if our wand breaks, then we'll have to do it again. That's it. Next. Holy Fook is asking, if the game is good and does well, do you think future media will recognize the story as canon and reference it? I mean, yeah, it is already being recognized by as canon. So Harry Potter Wiki has already added some parts from Hogwarts Legacy. For example, they added that Renrock, the goblin, was the leader of Goblin Rebellion in late 1800s. Until the gameplay trailer, the last Goblin Rebellion was in 1700s. Everything that is released under Portkey Games label adheres to the Wizarding World lore. Even Hogwarts Mystery and Magic Awakened events are considered canon. So yeah. Next. Red Rocker is asking, any future DLCs as of Quidditch or some kind of Dark Souls / Death Stranding multiplayer mechanic edition? Well, it is more or less common practice for single-player games to add some multiplayer expansions post-launch, so I wouldn't think that a Battlefield dueling arena, online arena, wouldn't be a crazy thing to think about. But whether or not they're going to make it in this game or try to do it in a sequel or try to do a separate game for that, that's a question. I say it's still very possible even as DLC for Hogwarts Legacy. Next, another question from Red Rocker. Owls? What purpose will owls have in the game? And owls, like OWLS, will we actually be able to pass and fail exam? Okay, well, two questions in one. First, I think owls will be pets in the game. We will be able to pet them, I think, just like a cat. And then they will bring mail. Who are we going to be mailing to? I have no clue. Maybe we can subscribe to the Daily Prophet for a little fee. For the owls as the test, I feel like it would be really fun to have a exam-like experience, you know, answering all the lore-related questions. Plus, the results would then make us qualified for a certain career path as a wizard. But on the other hand, I feel like something is going to happen during this time as part of the story that will prevent us from taking owls. We will still be preparing for it the entire game, but then we're just not going to take it. We're not going to have owls. No, but still, I feel like the developers wouldn't waste the opportunity to actually have the test and have people test their knowledge from the game and from possibly lore in that test. So yeah. Next, the third question from Red Rocker. In your video, new SMR video raises the bar for Hogwarts Legacy. At 9:16, you notice some kind of a violet light that keeps appearing and disappearing. The official ASMR video at the clip with the watering can starting at 10:03, there's a lock on the door that you notice in your video at 6:55. This lock glows with the same violet light, possibly indicating that we can interact with it. Do you think we can learn Alohomora, break in and steal stuff during the night? Do you think there will be more mechanics with a morality system like that? Well, okay, first of all, thank you so much for making all the timestamps. And yeah, I'm sure we're gonna learn a lot more in the game, and I think we're gonna be able to sneak in those shops and possibly steal. The question is, are we gonna be caught? If we are, who are we gonna be caught by? By the owner who possibly sleeps in the same shop, like somewhere on the second floor? Or maybe by Dementors who will be monitoring the grounds of Hogsmeade and just around Hogwarts at night. Maybe that's why we saw Azkaban in the reveal trailer. You know, the Dementors are going to be the police of the game. If we do something bad, like, oh, they get you, they take you to Azkaban, and then Professor Fig will have to bail you out of Azkaban every time. And maybe we'll take some money. I don't know, but I feel like I'm pretty sure morale system is in the game. How advanced is still a question, but I feel like with those locks, it sort of indicates on that, you can open that, you will have consequences, most likely, if you do that. So, yeah, curious, very curious. And the last question of the day is by Carlos Yasik, who's wondering, are you going to make more Hogwarts Legacy ones? Absolutely freaking yes. This is the first one I made. There's a bunch of different ones in the reveal trailer and in the gameplay trailer. I'll have to make every single one of them. These are all the questions for today, guys. Make sure to submit yours below if you want to participate in my future video, and check out the second part of Hogwarts Legacy Fans Ask here and another video I made for you here. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.